What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And yes, I'm actually recording this live. The market's got about 30 more minutes left, and the trickery did not stop today. The market the Santa rally is right around the corner. To depict it when exactly, and you're not going to be able to time it perfectly, but the Santa Claus rally essentially happens towards mid to the end of the month as opposed to beginning of December. We've seen that. We saw a lot of bad different pullbacks and stuff. Yes, we've had the variant. Yes, we've had Powell. But ultimately, moving forward, we need to see what is going to happen with the inflation, because typically, I'll be honest, when the market started pushing yesterday, I was kind of actually surprised, because when Powell started talking about how inflation was really bad and wasn't going to go away, normally that affects tech, and you'll see that, and you also see that the banks will start running, gold will run, and then tech will pull back. And when he was talking about that yesterday, we didn't get any of that. I think all people probably heard was the fact that, okay, what that means is that rates aren't going to be raised for a couple more months. So that means tech is going to run. Everybody's trying to gauge when that rate raise is coming in, so that they can play tech. Growth stock can push hard during those months until we get that rate raise, and then you're going to see normalization of big tech again. So that's why I think we had the major explosion in tech yesterday. But today, looking at it, it looks like we had a digestion. Technical wise, we did come into a lot of support on the daily. And a lot of individual stocks, not so much SPX, but if you look at even ones like Amazon, we were sitting right around the 20 and the 50 EMA on the daily. A lot of big tech was sitting at that after this monstrous move yesterday. Being said, we kind of just essentially retraced everything, all the gains that we had yesterday, back into today. Again, a lot of stocks do look like this. And so we had that pullback, and the only thing that really held the market up and stopped it from a complete flush was the banks were really ripping today, and going into tomorrow in value as well. But there is the quad witching, and normally there is a lot of selling around that time. So that may be what we're seeing as well. Again, there's nothing else really in the way of us starting the Santa Claus rally. I talked about volume next week is going to get low. And so we might not get the rally next week either, but we might get it in the beginning of the week, and it might slow down. It's a short week next week, and then a short 2 weeks. So you really don't see the rally until we start really seeing that full week. But you might starting to see some of the pumps now. Again, the volume today was even pretty low, and so we got a lot of slow bleed out and chop all the way down today. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Again, I'm still bullish. There's still going to be a rally. It's just the timing and surviving till then. This is why if you're a short-term trader, you take profits when you can. I swung Tesla, and I ended up taking profits as soon as we opened up this morning. But everything else, again, just everything died. Nothing held support and just completely fell through. This is why this kind of market, you have to be very adjustable. And if you come into the market thinking that it's always going to be the same, it's not. It definitely comes down to process. And if you go outside of your process, that's when you get burned. And even for me today, I took some shop calls early out because I thought it was going to rebound. It didn't. I cut quick, thankfully, but nonetheless, and it died off. So, and most everything has done that. Even Apple got crushed today. Completely bad, but it came back down into support. It's been holding this. A lot of people use this as a safe haven. Now it's just kind of just dying out completely. But we have to see, is it the quad witching tomorrow, or are we going to see if it is, or where we go from that point? Because if it is just a quad witching that caused us to sell, then we switch gears and go Santa Claus rally. Either I think we're going to go flat overnight, and then tomorrow we might get a rally in the morning. If not, we'll probably stay flat till midday, roughly. Really just depends. Again, it's hard to gauge this type of market because of the fact that even you get these massive pumps out of the gates, and then they just wick and they go straight down, and then they pump again and they wick and they go down, and then you're trying to short it and you realize that it wicks trying to go down very fast, so you don't have a lot of time. It's definitely a scalper's market. We had this about 2 months ago or so. We had nothing but a scalper's market, and then now we're getting back into that markets where you can't do swings because typically what will happen is you'll dump the next morning. But ultimately, like I said, even last night, that swing I took was probably the first swing I've taken in a while, only because we've had random news come out, and I've been able to capitalize on a lot of the different ones, shorting the pump or grabbing on specific zones or supply zones and demand zones. So it really just depends. Again, now going forward, we don't really have a lot more news. There's a lot more lockdown stuff coming out, but none of that. The market's really kind of numb to that. Unless it's something really different, it's not going to change anything. Again, unless it starts affecting supply and stuff like that, that's when it becomes an issue. But other than that, going into tomorrow, it is Friday, Take Profit Friday, quad witching. Be careful, be mindful, be vigilant. It may be best to just sit back and not even do anything. Wait till the market actually shows direction. Wait till the market actually starts pushing. And if you find that it's sitting in the same spot that you left it today, realize that just let it sit, let it break the zone, and then go from that point. So even like Tesla has been sitting in this 932 mark all day. It's essentially where it bounced yesterday, but it's really teetering on that, wanting to sell down to the 900, which is my next support for it. But we may see that. So we may see that come down a little bit further. Again, the 200 support for the daily is way down by the 800. I don't know if we'll see a sell all the way down to that. So again, nothing is, you can't say nothing is impossible, because this market is definitely extremely volatile with all the big policy changes and stuff that have been going on. So you got to be adjustable to that. And with inflation and everything, a lot of uncertainty, it makes it hard to really determine which direction the market will go. This is why we do day to day, because stuff can change and the market can turn around on the blink of an eye and just start running out of nowhere. So it's just good to be patient, because like I said, a lot of times you'll get these moves like this. They'll be advertised, or you start seeing momentum pushing really heavily, and then take advantage of that. But when it sits like this all day and just chops and barely moves, a lot of the times it's just better just to sit out. Like I said, majority of the day I sat out. So I'm just waiting for a better setup and see what happens. But if you've made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.